Okay, so part 3 of this series is to get these into a Spitshine. Right now these are just brush shined using like a 2-part brush shining process that I have in part 1 and part 2. If you want to see part 1, click here. See part 2, click here. I suggest watching them in order because it works. It works that way. Anyways, this is how they're looking so far. They have a deep gloss. Okay, now I'm ready for this. If you've seen my previous spit shining video, I'm going to do the same thing, but just with these boots. Put some hot water. Put some hot water on my kiwi cloth. I always tap it out. Kiwi polish. Okay. Load it up. Lots of polish. Okay. I always use more polish to water, but that's just how I do it. So, starting out, small, tiny ass little circles. Pushing rather hard. A little fuzz there. Okay, going around the entire toe. Little tiny circles. So this is the first time this boot has ever seen spit shining. And we're just going to keep going, pushing down on it. Oh, sorry, I got sniffles. Okay, and as you see the polish smearing in your circles, you can start spreading your circles to be a little bit bigger and releasing the pressure a little more, so that eventually you're barely going to have any pressure at all. You're just rubbing the cloth across the top. Okay, so right now I don't have very much pressure at all. And what that is trying to do is get rid of the streak marks that are left behind from the polish. Okay, just from doing the toe, that's quite an increase in result. That's the first spit shine this boot has received. And as you do it more and more, all the little tiny, it's really hard to see with this camera, all the really tiny little dimples that are in the boot will eventually smooth out and you'll have glass. It'll be smooth. So, we all know the most important part is the toe, but we always do the entire boot. Reason being is for inspections, parades. You don't want to be the one with just a shiny toe. You want to have your whole boot done. So, just going through. I'm going to do the entire boot. Start out with a lot of pressure, work your way up to very little pressure. I use hot water because it brings out the oils from the polish, and it helps lubricate and move it around a little easier. When I'm brush shining, I use the cold air from outside to chill off the polish and make it quicker and easier to brush off. That's the reason why. I don't remember if I stated that in my previous videos or not. Okay, so now I just did this portion here. It's looking pretty good so far. Now I'm going to move up to here. As I said, this has not been spit shined at all ever. It has not received this kind of treatment. Just the brush and then putting it on with the cloth and then brushing it off lightly. That's all that's been done. Those are the two ways that I use to build up my good base coats. This boot has about 10 to 12 good base coats on it now. Good coats to create a good base, sorry. So you start with small little tiny circles and you work your way up. I know I'm just repeating myself, but just so you remember while you're doing it, maybe you're going to watch this first and then go try it. Maybe you're doing it as you're doing it. Use the light to your benefit. Angle your boots so that you can see all the smears and what needs to be removed. And again, don't use too much water, or else you're going to have a shit ton of water left on, and you're going to have to use more polish to get that off. That's not a bad thing, it just means more time polishing. But to get your boots, these are brand new boots, to get them up to a really good standard, you're going to want to spend time doing it. I've probably put 4 to 5 hours into this one, these boots already. I need a little tiny bit of water. The water just helps lubricate it as well with the oil. Makes it easier. You can feel the difference when the cloth is ready to be. Like when you first start out, it feels kind of hard to move around. But after you get used to doing this so much, you start noticing the differences and what the feelings are supposed to be like. So you know when you need to start to lift off and lose the pressure. Have very minimum pressure. Like right now, I'm not using very much pressure at all. Again, and just moving it around, and then I'll carry on. Do this side. I'm going to put a little more on that one. Okay, if your cloth is still damp, but you find you're getting friction, just give a little huff on it. The steam from your mouth, moisture from your mouth will give you just enough to get it done. And these aren't the same kind of boots that I had in the previous video that I did for spit shining. These are brand new boots from Logistics, and they don't have that really crappy shiny coating that they come with. It's like a plastic coating, and it's just natural leather. Like it's good. Like you can tell. So hopefully I can have these boots shined up perfectly for the parade tomorrow. It's Remembrance Day. this inside part is going to be a little brat because it's quite wrinkly in places. So I hate dealing with the wrinkles, but you gotta still shine over them or else it'll show. And I always do up along the bootlace holes as well. And the tongue as well. I do the tongue. So anyways, with that said, just to give you an example of the difference between boots. Here's this boot which just received spit shining. Here's the boot before spit shining. This is the other one which I have not spit shined yet. It's just got a really good base. So there is a difference. This one is very glossy and deep, lustrous. And you just keep going with that. And here's what they look like after their initial spit shine. This is in better lighting anyway. The other room was not that good. So they're coming along. So that's just after one spit shine. I'm going to do a couple more by tomorrow. But you get the idea, they're coming along. You saw them from start, here they are just about finished. It's all about the base coat. Seriously, it makes such a difference. And here's my old boots. Just give me a sec, I'll grab them. Here's one of my old boots. So, yeah. I'm going to set them side by side. You can see the differences in them. Obviously one is more broken in. But still, that'll come. Different soles. The new ones feel a lot better too. I couldn't believe how comfortable they were. Either way.